I'm no longer a hard worker. I'm a soft worker. I work soft. The word soft to an athlete is one of the most cringe-worthy, that box out, armbar, soft.
But you can both do something soft and you can be soft, and all of it's bad. Maybe at some point you do have to start with the hard work, but then at some point you have to become a soft worker.
He was like, and you're just a really hard worker, and I really admire that about you. And I was like, fuck, I better stop working out. I'm not getting any benefit from the work being hard. And we gaslight ourselves into thinking that
we have to work harder.
Whether I worked soft, whether I worked hard, is still just going to be a completed task at the end of the day.
On game day, it never felt like working hard. It was flow state.
If flow state is the goal.
It's actually the act of easy.
Let it show out there, ladies,
Don't overthink it.
Just play.
Just play.
You've already done the hard work to get us to this point. Now let's go kick some ass. Hi.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Mike's super short show.
Oh, God.
So this week, made a post. Still not entirely sure how to live this out fully in life. But I'm no longer a hard worker. I'm a soft worker.
Yeah.
I work soft.
That was a fun breakthrough moment for you.
Yeah, it was. It felt...
That was a really great way to put it.
Very monumental.
Just subtly monumental.
I'm just not entirely sure how to...
accomplish it.
Enact it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for some context, this is the concept of... we are trained, and it's not only athletes.
No. This is kind of...
by far. But I think it will apply to a lot of athletes.
Yes.
Is just the idea that, like, we've been trained. It's been ingrained to work hard, outwork the competition. The harder you work, the better you are. Which is like, yes?
Yeah.
Like, there's obviously merit to that concept. To that philosophy, right?
Yeah.
There's obviously merit to it. Like, fully believe.
Yeah.
I am where I am because I work hard.
Yes.
Like, in so many aspects of life.
Being a hard worker is not a bad thing.
No.
That's not what this is saying.
So maybe it's like once you get to a certain point in different aspects of your life, now it's time to become a soft worker. What does it mean to you to be a soft worker? Like, there was something like light bulby about when you framed it that way for both of us, of just soft worker.
Yeah. Well, and I think too that it's like literally saying it now and like the use of soft. The word soft to an athlete is soft. One of the most cringe-worthy. You never ever want to be described as soft.
So many meanings.
That was soft.
So
that
many meanings,
post up,
all bad.
That box out.
Soft.
That whatever. You're
you are
armbar soft. You don't like that is such a cringeworthy word. Uh-huh. So then it makes me kind of reject soft in all terms.
But you can both do something soft and you can be soft, and all of it's bad.
Yeah, of course. Yes. So now our hard work has kind of like it's outdone itself. It's just like too far of all the time, which I think then spirals into perfectionism, which is also an issue of athletes that just want to do everything perfect and XYZ. Yeah. So to me, the soft part still makes me cringe a little bit in my ears, but the soft part is also just like breathe. Take a pause, take a beat. You're working, but you're giving yourself like space to do the work well, if that makes sense. So like, it's just like less self-inflicted pressure across the board to work hard.
Right. At everything
everything.
I think part of this conversation stemmed from like our discussions over the last few weeks, because Vic made a really great post about sense of urgency. Yes. I don't need to walk to my car with a sense of urgency. I don't even care if I'm late. Like, we're always late. And we move about the world with that like sense of urgency, even though we're late, but like we've been urgently doing things that made us late. So like it's
Yes.
not like we're like moving slowly through the world and that's why we're late. Like no, we're just doing all the things and too many. We are
Yes.
urgently doing too many things. That
Yeah,
was
she
that was a
worded it
great
perfectly.
way
It lives rent free in my head
for the last few
now
weeks.
for the
We
last
just
few
have been
weeks.
constantly saying it. So this conversation kind of stemmed off of that because
Yeah.
it's like that's kind of it all comes in the same vein, sense of urgency, work hard, like all of this stuff that we all have ingrained so deeply in us. And like to me when you said I'm no longer a hard worker, I'm a soft worker. Like to me I guess soft worker also meant I guess I'd say it's like with a like a some sort of force, right?
Yes.
So more of a I'm gonna let things come to me versus like
Yes.
force, and like we've had those conversations in the past too. But it's something about just like
It's also,
maybe there's some sort of I need to exist confidently that like I'm aligned
yeah.
and something about less
That's
forceful.
what I was just
Like,
gonna say. It's
because it's like hard
existing.
worker is like force,
It's
like
existing
coming at
without
a,
pushing.
yes, it's
Like,
just like, I'm a soft worker. I'm going to work and I'm going to do it from an aligned place
yes.
that also me like aligned in the world and aligned in self. I
Yes.
am existing
And
comfortably.
I don't have to, none of this is saying that the work isn't going to be done well.
Right.
Like the work is still going to be done well. I'm just
Of
don't have to
course.
like push and force it to be
The
harder
best.
than what it is
Yeah.
or the absolute best with no possible imperfection ever or
But I think there's something there too, like harder than what it needs to be, right?
yeah.
So this also ties, and we've probably talked about this on a past episode, and by past I mean we've recorded it in the past. I don't know if it's out. I don't know. But we've definitely had the conversation of the idea that nothing good comes easy, or nothing that's easy is worth having, like this kind of trope. It's hard because it's worth it, like kind of vibe, right? I'm not
Yeah.
even nailing that phrase, but like what's the phrase I'm looking for? Nothing worth having is easy, right?
Yeah.
This is like a philosophy that I just absolutely do not ascribe to. It doesn't have to be hard.
Correct.
Good things can happen that weren't extremely hard to
Well,
accomplish
and
or achieve or get or receive,
yes.
right? So this is kind of the idea of like just being in alignment and not making things harder because we come from this ingrained belief that the harder you work, the better the outcome is,
Yeah, there's
right?
no guarantee of that.
No.
There's no like actual trade-off of like, wow, I'm really getting credit for all this hard work that I'm doing. Like, no, there's no credit to be given. You're
Yeah.
not getting like more playing time. You're not standing out above like apart from anyone.
Yeah.
So it's just like not that everything has to be done in a transactional way,
Sure.
but at the same time, this also stemmed out of a conversation around nothing matters in terms of like in conjunction with then kind of everything matters
Yeah.
because nothing matters. So if nothing matters, then like why am I working so damn hard to accomplish said task, which is still just going to be a completed task at the end of the day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether I worked soft to get that task done or whether I worked hard to get that task done. I'm not getting any benefit from the work being hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I feel like we do. Like if something feels too easy, it's like suspicious.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
And then we find
this
ways
is
to make
even
it
yeah.
harder.
So you literally find ways to make it harder
Or even
because
just
then
doubting
it's
that.
worth having. Or you're literally suspicious. You're like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna last.
Yeah. So then we
or like
gaslight
whatever.
ourselves into thinking that
We have to work harder.
we have to work harder, we shouldn't do it, or there should have been
We're
more.
missing something, which is why that
and so then
seems
the
easy.
anxiety that it sparks is already making me have to work harder to then self-regulate myself back to a position to where I can work from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, there was something that you said earlier, just a minit ago, and it was putting me somewhere. Now I've forgotten, but it's like,
Do you want that light on?
anti-perfectionism. The light's on now.
Surprise!
Surprise, we broke a light.
Yeah, we did turn the light on halfway through the episode. You're welcome.
There's something about just like, yes, in no way are we saying I'm going to do a shitty job,
Yeah,
right? Because
soft
it's just
work
like
doesn't
not
mean
even,
it's bad work.
it's not even it's not even possible, right? I've had this tattoo for a long time. Done is better than perfect, because like this is like a thing that when you are a perfectionist, or you are a person who gravitates toward working hard because you think it's going to pay off more than working soft,
Yes.
right? This is like a reminder that you need daily. Is just like the same as the forcing. It's like a clenching, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, we're not super woo woo. We're probably pretty
We're a
woo.
little woo-woo now.
Compared to a lot of LA people, we're not super woo, but compared to where we grew up. But the law of attraction part, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of like all tying together, at least when you said I'm a soft worker. I need to be a soft worker now. Like that's all kind of being in alignment, law of attraction. It's just like, God, like we put up these mental things where it's just like, no, this, like, it has to be harder than that. Which is like kind of gets me into that mental framework of just like flow state.
Yeah.
And like how you think about that as an athlete, and how there's always this conversation in sport around like, oh, just naturally gifted, right? Versus like they just worked really hard.
Yes.
Every day. There's like this like athlete trope of, I don't even know who the athletes are, but it's probably like Michael Jordan or something. I don't know, but it's like, oh, they were in the gym at 4 a.m. every day, working hard to get better, or they're naturally gifted. And there's like this kind of like weird value between those two things. Yeah. But it's like both are valued, but there's something that's like.
And then if you're naturally gifted and you work hard, oh, damn.
That's when you're at the top, you know?
That's called greatness.
Yeah. And it is true in sports. You need both.
Yeah, because again, too, it's like we have friends that are coaches. My brother's a coach. His girlfriend's a coach. Like there are coaches, and too, a lot of them are like current athletes.
They're not doing the work hard part.
It's just different, right? Like
leaning.
Generationally, it's just different, and they're like, no one wants to work hard. Yeah. Which again, like I'm not saying that that's a wrong statement. Like no, that's probably true. Again, we've overcorrected. And we're trying to now course correct back into like a normal amount of work level on the soft to hard spectrum.
Yeah. But so what I was saying with that too is with the flow state too is like on game day, it never felt like working hard.
Yeah.
You know, it was flow state, and it was just like, so at some point you have to release that clenching because you need to be in that flow. You need to be, it's like rhythmic, and it's, you know, it's just
existing.
It's flow state, right? So if you're on game day trying to work too hard, and you're like, you're gonna mess up, right? So it's almost like we've lacked the ability to find that state as adults, right?
Yes.
Because there's never something that pushes you into that. I don't know. There's something in my mind that like is connecting these two pieces of just like that working hard. It's like everything doesn't have to be hard, you guys. And
yeah,
I feel like that's
flow
just
state
drilled
isn't
into
actually
us.
hard.
No.
So it's like
it's actually the act of
if flow state is the goal. If flow state is the goal, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you want to be working in flow state. You want to be creating in flow state. You want to be maximizing in flow state, whatever. Yeah, capitalizing flow state. Can we bottle up flow state and sell it? Because that would probably sell a lot. So flow state is an act of letting go and releasing control so that you're tapping into
like a different
what you've already practiced, right? You're tapping into a space where you've already done the work.
I love that.
You've already done the hard work in practice.
Yes.
So that then when you get to the game day and you get to flow state, then it's just happening.
Which is, that actually ties back to what I was trying to get at earlier, is when I said you hit a certain point, right? So I feel like I've done the hard work.
Yeah.
And so I was saying, then you need to step into like some sort of new kind of confidence, right? So I don't know if we've just hit that point. Like we're 33, we've been practicing, we've done all the hard work. So maybe at some point you do have to start with the hard work, but then at some point you have to become a soft worker and just like be in alignment because you've practiced. Now it's time to step into flow state and be a soft worker.
Yeah, it's game day and I'm just trying to flow state the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Just a solid, like, I can just now exist in flow state only.
Yeah. Well, no, but
I'm just,
that'd be great.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what
But then it would just get old,
that's
right?
what you're
Then
manifesting. And then it doesn't feel like a flow state anymore. And that's just your natural state.
Yes. But more of that. Yeah. That's a super interesting connection there. It's just like you've done the hard work, you've done the practice, now just
let it show out there.
Yep.
Let it show out there, ladies, you know.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
Don't try to make it harder than it is.
Just play.
Just play.
You've already done the hard work
to
get us to this point. Now let's go kick some ass. You know?
I do.
That's kind of the vibe that I'm hearing in this moment.
That's the vibe.
Okay. I have another random hardworking moment. Okay. That's a core memory in my brain.
Oh, God.
There was this guy in high school, and like I had absolutely zero interest, obviously, lesbian, but didn't know at the time about me. Should I start this over?
No, I love it.
So this guy that had a crush on me that I was like hyper not interested in, regardless of the lesbianism.
She was not interested.
I was super not interested.
Even hypothetically not lesbian.
Hypothetically, if I had known I was a lesbian already, still wouldn't have been interested. But anyway, he literally, one of his attempts at flirting was like saying nice things about me, like the qualities that he liked about me. And literally one of the things he said was that I was a really hard worker.
Oh.
And I was like, I obviously just have a distinct core memory of being told in the sense of flirting, in the guise or disguise of flirting. He was like, you know, and you're just a really hard worker. And I really admire that about you. And I was like, fuck, I better stop working hard. If it's getting acknowledged in this way, it took me a few years.
15 years later, girl finally realized.
15 years later, I realized that this would get the guys off my back. Not the whole having a wife thing, but, you know. Yeah, so it took me a while, but that core memory is still there. And when we said it the other day at lunch with our friend.
You thought of that?
That popped into my head.
Oh my God, I love that.
I was like, yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that
I didn't want to be a hard worker back then either, but I fucking was.
All right. So the point is, please.
I thought that was the point.
Soft work.
I'm going to try. I don't fully know what that means for me. Right now in my brain,
you know what
it's
it
just
means.
Like,
you don't know how.
Stick with your morning habits. Like, just like let yourself like ease into your day. But like, just when it feels like too much, take a nap. That's about where I'm at right now.
Oh man, yeah, that's kind of fun. Erin recently has been going out on our patio. She has to climb
out the window.
She climbs out a window to our rooftop, and this is I've never seen. I mean, okay, so I've known you for what the fuck year is it? It's 2025. I've known you for 15 years.
Yep. Officially.
And obviously 4 of those years we were in college basketball. So did any of us have habits or good habits?
I mean, we had habits that existed because
structure,
of
right?
What we had to do on a daily basis.
But in all those years after, I've never seen you like have a routine until like the last 2 months. And so you go out in the morning and you head out there in the sun with your hot chocolate, which is element hot chocolate.
It's not always sunny.
Okay.
So what
And
am I supposed to change the habit based on the weather?
no,
Then it's
I
not
want you
considered a
to
habit
stick to
anymore.
it. And your protein shake and your Element hot
Got to get
chocolate
my
and your
protein grams in
Kindle,
within, yeah,
right?
within
And
an
I'm just
hour of
so
waking
happy
up.
for you. I'm just so happy for you. And it's not a routine, but you're trying to nap more because you're just more effective with the nap.
Yep,
So that's a definition of soft work.
I'm trying.
Talk about upping
I'm
upping your
I'm
productivity
trying really
by
hard.
doing something super easy is napping.
Yeah, I'm trying really
Even though
hard
it's
to be a better soft worker.
hard to nap. It takes so much mental work
It
for you
really
to be like,
takes.
no, I need to put this down. I'm going to go sleep for 20
We're
minutes.
talking 20-minute nap, like literally.
It's so effective for
And
you.
it is very effective for me, but I still have to convince myself that it's okay.
But also, let's keep in mind that like literally falling asleep for you is easy. So like there
Yes.
are people out there like me where falling asleep any time of day is hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy. For you, it's very easy.
I don't have enough good
It's
thoughts going
the
on in my brain to stay awake for.
it's the, it's the literally convincing yourself that you're worthy of rest that is hard for you to do. So, I don't know if it's soft work, but I think for you building naps into your day, that's the start of some
It
soft work.
softens the work.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure out what soft work looks like or how to actually take
Yep.
action on it, but even that, it's like you're trying to make it harder than it is.
Yeah. We're
So, we're
already
figuring it
overthinking
out.
it.
We're figuring it
We're
out.
already overthinking it. And yeah, I'm just trying to get someone to be like, you know what? You are a soft worker, and I admire that about you.
We're
You
going to
work,
get there.
you work soft, baby. You work soft. That's what I'm shooting for.
Thanks for letting me come on today, babe.
Thanks for coming on.